Oh, y'all pop y'all pussy like this. Go ahead, don't stop, don't miss. Now do it, hey, do it, hey, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, right. Lick it good, lick them just like you should. My neck, what? My back, then my, and my, hey, my, oh, my, lick my, and my.
Hey, welcome to the Squad Goals podcast.
Yo.
I'm AJ. And to the left.
It's your boy, D to the low.
And to our right.
It's me, Devon.
Hi, Devon.
Hi. How's it going, guys? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Y'all chilling?
Chilling like a villain.
So there's a phenomenon.
Wait. What are we gonna talk about today? D-Lo, what are we gonna talk about today?
I have no idea.
There's so many things to talk about, but yet so little things to talk about. Maybe we should go to our handy dandy list.
Oh, you were really making that a thing?
Nah, you just did that shit earlier. No, we don't have to do that.
Well,
You guys made a list? I didn't know about this.
He did a whole Blue's Clues fucking introduction.
that was not what happened.
Yeah, it makes me wanna wag my tail. Liz.
I want to say for context, there was a false start on the field. I'm going to play the clip of the false start. And today, what are we going to talk about?
Oh no.
What are we going to talk about?
Today, there's so much things we could talk about.
So many things and not enough. Let's go to the handy dandy list.
Is this a segment? Is this a segment? Did you have this all planned out? Is this Blue's Clues?
You've been watching the show. I've been watching the show.
Oh, yes.
Number one show on Netflix right now because they have that
trending.
rating system.
Yeah. Which we need to get on that.
Tiger King.
Tight.
And it shows I did not, like, I had looked at a list on my phone of what to talk about. But it was like, I usually look while, getting prepped ahead of time, and I didn't have chance, and I kind of flustered on the false start, and luckily it was a false start, and no one would have known it was a false start.
Penalty on the field.
However, there's a phenomenon when we get through my whole pitch. There's a phenomenon going on right now.
Number one trending.
Number one trending show on Netflix, because now they show what the ranking of what people are watching is. And I know I'm on the tail end. I got a couple episodes left. Devon started last night. You have not yet started it, so you will hear us discuss it. And you can come in with your color commentary. We won't spoiler.
I'm gonna spoil some shit.
Well, we'll go into a spoiler alert type zone.
That's all right. It really doesn't make a difference to me.
Tiger King.
Roar.
So, yeah, I didn't know much about it before I clicked on. Well, I was telling Devon, I'm like, for some reason I knew Joe Exotic, who is one of the three main characters of this documentary series, and I didn't know why. I was like,
you ever heard this country album? That's where I know him from. It's a country star.
I saw it come up on Netflix a couple days ago, and I was like, they made a documentary about Joe Exotic, of course. And then as I'm watching it, I'm like, why did I know this man? I never watched any of his content. I never watched never went to a zoo, never listened to his country music albums, one of two. Haven't heard any of them.
Man,
but
it's all Tiger.
They did show a clip in one of the episodes that John Oliver made fun of one of his videos, and I was like, that was it.
Oh, that's why.
That was it. But yeah, it's about these three zoos, privately owned zoos. Essentially, if you just bought a backyard and built a cage and got some animals and just charged people. One's in Oklahoma. Doc's is in one of the Carolinas.
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
And then one's in Trig.
Then one is in Tampa, Florida.
Big Cat Rescue. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Trigger City, Florida.
And
Nebraska.
On season 1 of the podcast, I talked about like groups of people. Like I talked about the knitting community, where like if you're outside that group, you just think, oh, people knit. But when you're on the
If you're outside the knitting circle. Then I guess you aren't sewn in to the inner weavings.
That's actually a good metaphor. Like, if you're on the outside, you won't know the interweavings, like how they're celebrities, podcasts, superstars of like certain communities. And that's how it felt with these zoos. Like, you go to a zoo, you're like, oh, cool. But like all these personalities, they conflict with each other. And like, you have these people who do shady backstabbing things and different stuff in these zoos. And just every episode of this show, I've never seen a show like it where I go, how is this going to get crazier? Like, episode 1, you're like, that's crazy. Episode 2, I went, we're bonkers. And then from there on out, it went.
She feeds that dude to a tiger, bro.
Someone got fed to a tiger.
Someone got fed
Allegedly.
to a tiger. Allegedly. I saw the music video. I saw the Joe Exotica music video. I saw her do it firsthand.
Yeah, it's just like everything. Everything is wild. Like, Doc, who has the Carolina Zoo, he is like the more upper class, I would say. Like, he's got like this high-end zoo. It's like $600 to
He shows you how to do it like the white collar sleazy way. He's like, I'm gonna do this the luxurious sleazy way.
$600 to get inside a zoo.
Yeah, because there's no cages. It's like they bring tigers up to you. You can like lay next to a tiger and take pictures. It's like a hands-on, no exhibit. Like, it's just there. It's more of a show than anything.
Yeah, more personal.
Then you have Joe Exotic in Oklahoma, who is like the most hillbilly white trash people you have ever met. He like said, first Doc, he has like a cult. He gets these young women, he makes them like
17.
live there, sleeps with them so they feel like they have this bond to him, and he like keeps them for decades, and they really have no other place to go because that's all they know from like
Like the
17.
flower room.
He's the owner of the zoo?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then you have Joe Exotic in Oklahoma, who gets these people who are like out of prison, and like one person said like, we don't like or Joe likes to get people who have no other choice. This is their only job. This is their last resort. So they work harder and they give us everything. And he pays them like $100 a week.
Yeah.
They live in these like really rundown trailers, rats running everywhere, like no plumbing, no water, no, I think they said electricity, but I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't any.
There's electricity.
And like they get
one AC unit.
They get expired meat from Walmart for the tigers, and like all these guys are like going through this truck, this semi truck.
Or some of the go back meat, you know.
Some were, but they're like, oh my god. And then you have Kate, I think her name was, from Tampa, the Big Cat Rescue, which is like a charity, but she gets these tigers. She
is
keeps
that quote unquote specific? Like,
yeah, because she gets tigers and like animals, puts them in cages at her zoo essentially. She doesn't rehabilitate to put them back in the wild. She kind of says like they're lost causes, like they won't survive, we can't train them. And then she charges admission for people to come and watch them in their cages. The only difference is she says she doesn't breed them. But she has like this army of volunteers that don't get paid. They put in these long hours, they work weekends, they work holidays, and she doesn't pay. So she's kind of like making money, you know, off of this like charity. And it's just like all this like
A lot of money.
intrigue between these zoos, and you're just like, what? Like, I didn't know this existed.
Right. People trying to kill people.
People trying to kill people.
It's a lot of shit.
And that's the thing. They hint at it in the first 5 minutes of the documentary is someone tried to kill someone. They hired like a hitman. I'm 5 episodes in. I have not even been hinted at that yet. And I'm like, that's a great, like, we're still not even there. And I'm still being surprised. Like, you told me a crazy thing to begin with, and I'm still being surprised by other stuff that, in my opinion, some of it seems more crazier than
trying to kill somebody.
Yeah, and it's just like everything. It's
a wild ride. You gotta watch it.
A wild ride.
Yeah.
It's sad how people use like animals for profit. You know, trying to use the intrigue of animals.
And I mean,
profit off of it.
I want to say that, the documentary is very good and well made in the sense that I feel like it tries to present both sides for everyone. The three subjects, they are all saying their side, and then you have people around those people who are either backing them up or saying the opposite. They don't, like, I feel like it's not one-sided. You could look at each one of those zoos and agree or disagree with each of them because they present enough evidence for each zoo. They don't go like, this is the good one and this is the bad one. They don't say like, they're all bad, they're all good. It's like, we're going to show you, here are the people speaking for themselves, and here are people who worked closely with them to either say what they felt. Some people agree and like are on that side, but you have like one lady who was like in the Doc cult type thing, and it was like she got out and she was talking against it. But then you have people who were talking for him and like saying she's not like, don't listen to her. And I feel like they do make that side even for the zoo, because you have the argument of, should we profit off these animals? And I think it was Joe Exotic who said, what are you guys talking about? These are endangered species. So what should we do with endangered species? Like, we should breed them so there's bigger numbers. He's like, I have bred so many tigers that if I wasn't doing that, they wouldn't exist and they would be like in a really bad place. And it's kind of like, when I heard that, I went, I'm seeing your point. I don't necessarily agree, but I'm like, they presented both sides. They did. I feel like the documentary is definitely not one-sided
because there's nothing worse than a documentary that's completely biased. And
I think it's not like a Blackfish where it's like they went in there with an agenda. I feel like this was just, I think even the beginning, like the guy who made the documentary is like, I just wanted to do like a little thing on like something that interested me. Like he said he was doing like a news report or something, and he saw like a bobcat, and he's like, where'd you get that? And he was like, let me learn about these people who like breed these animals. Yeah. And it's just, he stuck with them for years because it just kept on, like, I think he got there at the right time where shit was hitting the fan and they like documented it. But I would say like, there's like one episode that paints the Tampa big cat rescue lady in a pretty bad light. But I also feel like they showed enough evidence, like she's defending herself. And then you have people who are going against her defense, and it's like kind of up to you to be like, who do you believe? Because the people who are against her kind of have biases of their own. I agree with them. I think she did some shady stuff, but everyone, Joe Exotic, Doc, like I think they show you both sides, and it was just good like we were talking earlier, like they went to these people saying, we want to make a documentary on you. They just didn't say who else they were talking to, because I'm sure these people are kind of like pissed, like, why did you talk to all these people that don't like me? You know? But I also feel like for every person that doesn't like someone, they talk to someone who is pro that person. Yeah. You know? And it's really up to you. Sides. But I also feel like, in my opinion, the evidence is out there for each one of them why they're not great. Yeah. And it's all for different reasons. Like, it's not just, at the end of the day, the animals are like the least of the intrigue. And the documentary even goes to the point where like one character, they're like, yeah, he stopped caring about the animals. Now he's on this whole other thing. And it's like, yeah, this is about a zoo. Like, I'm just like down this rabbit hole going.
You see like the
greedy intentions. On that much.
Yeah, greedy intentions of humans or whatever it may be.
Them kind of having their personal vendettas and just like following that, or just having these like issues, like these personal, like kind of psychological issues. And it's like,
when at the end of the day, it should just be about the animals. Yeah,
it's just like, like I would say the first episode is more about the first couple are like about these animals, and then it's just like, what are these people? Like, they found like this, like, they literally probably started filming about one thing, and they found this rabbit hole for all of them. And like Doc is, like we were saying before we recorded, Doc is this one character who I feel like there's a lot going on there, and they haven't really showed too much of his story. They talked about the cult and the weird, like, underage 17-year-old thing. Yeah. But that's about it. He pops in an episode and he'll talk about someone else's issues, you know, and like chime in on what he thinks. Like, oh, I think this person is crazy. But we haven't seen Doc, and I'm like, I still have a couple episodes left, and I'm like, there's a reason they showed us as much as they did, because there are some other random zoos keepers that they show who aren't involved, and they kind of just chime in. I'm like, they would have cut all his stuff out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I feel like there's gonna be more of that guy, but it's definitely worth watching. It's like
So how many episodes are there?
8 or 9. It's less than 10. I know that.
48 minutes though.
Yeah, it definitely goes in. It just came out a couple days ago, and I've been slowly watching it, and then like last night and today I was like binging, and because like it just kept on revving up. But like I saw today, it was like the #1 watch thing on Netflix right now.
I seen that last night. Those documentary shows on Netflix are killing it.
Oh, I've talked about that. I love
since-
these long documentary like mini series.
Making a Murder.
Yeah, like let's have enough time to tell the story, because I thought about it too. I'm like, if Tiger King was down to 2 hours, like a 2-hour movie,
Yeah.
I would have been like, it would have been interesting, but
You wouldn't
I wouldn't have been like, oh my god,
get
this
the-
is crazy.
Yeah,
They would have focused on the alleged killing, like hitman thing, which is like essentially the main story.
Yeah, when the most interesting parts sometimes are like the little subtle details, like in Making a Murder, how
Yeah.
they go into detail with every little bit, and every time you get thrown for another loop, and you're like, you know,
You're following the investigation as it
Like
as
you're
it's
there.
unfolding,
Yeah.
Instead of it just being like, here's what happened. You know,
I find that a lot more interesting.
you're you're following it as like kind of as if you were a detective or you were in
On the
that
case,
moment,
yeah.
instead of them just people summarizing it real quick.
Yeah. You can get more in depth with it.
But yeah, you should definitely check it out. It's real, like if you like those documentaries, it reminds me a lot of like Don't Fuck with Cats, like just in the style and stuff like that. But
It's a great documentary.
yeah. But there was something else I wanted to bring up, and it just blew my mind. They said yesterday that the Tokyo Olympics was being delayed until 2021.
2021, yeah.
But that's not what blew my mind. I feel like kind of you could see that coming with the way things are going. However, the vice chairman of the Olympic Committee, do you know what his name is?
What?
I've seen it, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
His name is
Something P or what?
Pound. Last name Pound.
That's what it was.
First name Dick.
Dick Pound?
Dick Pound
Yeah.
is that man's name.
I seen it right because it was like the chairman announces it. That's so funny.
Because I
What a
saw
great
like I get like headlines. I turn on like
Dick
notifications on my phone for like headlines, and it was like Dick Pound announces. I was like,
Not
what?
Richard?
I think I said the wrong thing.
Not Richard?
Yeah, that man either was named Dick, so they had to know, or he goes by Richard, or his name's Richard and he goes by Dick, which then he had to know.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, that was just, ooh, that was an accident.
I want to know too if there's other people embracing it and making a joke, or embracing it and finding it like dope, or is it him just like this is like going by the name?
Where's he
like
from?
Canada.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, I looked it up. I Googled him because I was like, maybe it's just like, he's from,
cultural
like,
thing.
yeah, it's like a cultural thing, and it, like, Dick really wouldn't have been, like, an offensive name or something. Like, or not that it's offensive, but, like, Dick Pound would, like, kind of is lost in translation. Like, it means something different. And I was like, he's a Canadian lawyer. So I'm like, he knows.
Well,
he
I guess
knows.
As a lawyer, that's a perfect name.
Hashtag or pound dick. Because the pound symbol's the hashtag. Called pound dick.
Kids don't know that.
And then he could do DICK, and that's his name.
That's just hashtag Dick.
Yeah, but it's pound
Yeah.
dick. Yeah.
They,
Yeah. Gang,
kids
gang,
don't know
call
that.
me. What?
I've heard kids call it the hashtag symbol.
Come on, kids. Know better. It's pound.
Because they don't have the
They also
number
don't
down.
understand whenever you put the hashtag with the numbers. They're like, what does hashtag law mean? Do I text it? It's like, no, there's letters underneath the numbers. You're supposed to hit the number 2 times for B.
I would say that was honestly crazy that we had a text that way.
We used to text so fast like that.
Yeah.
Remember how fast
the
you
T9?
text when you back?
Yeah.
When you like
T9 was great.
When you like and you write a whole paragraph like that. You'd be like, God.
I don't know. I like the tactile feeling of like the clicking buttons. I miss that.
I miss the click of a button.
Yeah.
Pushing in, or like when you're typing on like mechanical keys and that satisfying click.
I mean, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I guess it just doesn't tickle me in the same way.
But I'm just like,
I find like phones nowadays, they're just like squares.
Because I'm kind of like,
I miss the days where phones like sidekicks. You had like the BlackBerry,
oh, they're
curve,
bringing those back.
the Pearl, like
They're
I
bringing the
saw,
slides and the flip phones back.
the slide phones, the chocolate phone. Like those were cool.
I saw something a couple
the
years
chocolate.
ago, and it was like a bunch of phones, almost like it might have been like the number one phone of each year, but it was like a phone every year, and you see it go from like these big brick phones to smaller phones to flip phones, and they were all bright and colorful and like different. Like I can easily look and be like, oh, that's a Sidekick, that's a chocolate, that's a Razor, and then as soon as the first iPhone came out,
yeah.
every phone
Wait,
is a black rectangle.
Yeah.
And it's like, you honestly, in the picture, since it's not up close, I probably couldn't tell, is that an iPhone? Was that a Samsung? Was that this? Was that like, it was just like, it literally, like, you have to say, like, iPhone changed the look where it's literally, all phones look alike. They have minor differences. Like, the minor differences are like, I have a notch. I have a speaker down here. Like,
I mean, before they had like, home buttons and stuff, but now it's just big rectangles.
but like, if you had a chocolate and then like he had a Razor and I had a Sidekick, I can easily tell those phones from a distance and be like, this is my phone. Now it's like, we all have 3 different phones, and like, I feel like sometimes from a distance you get confused, and it's like,
I miss the
I
days.
picked up your phone before, and I'm pretty sure you picked up my phone.
yeah.
I miss the days of like where different manufacturers were making things that look different. But we might be going back to that
Yeah, I
with
think
the folding phones.
kind of what he was saying. I think we're slowly coming back around. Everything's like a cycle.
Yeah.
But it's like, because now that we're really good at making phones, like now it's kind of like, why does it have to be that shape?
You're good at making phones?
Yeah.
You yourself?
Yeah, I can make some phones.
Wow, I'm impressed.
If you
Cigar
gave,
City phones.
if you ordered me the parts, I could make a phone.
Do it. Order the parts.
Order the parts.
Test him. You think he's bluffing?
Give me get the glass, get the case, get like the chips and stuff. I'll make you a really good phone.
Okay, I appreciate it. I can use a really good phone.
Probably better than anything any of these companies are making.
These schmucks.
Yeah, like, and
would you call your
it won't
phone?
look like a black rectangle. What?
What would you call your phone? Well, I was taking a
No.
long time.
Cell. CELLUR.
So you are.
Yeah, give me that cellular.
Isn't there already a cellular?
No.
There's I think that's like a mobile service.
Yeah. Don't they have a logo and everything? The little.
That's singular. I know that.
There was singular and was there singular cellular?
I think so.
Get that singular cellular. There was cellular already. You can't take cellular.
Okay. My phone would be a Voyager.
Pretty sure that's been a
That's
phone,
the
but I'll take it. I'll take Voyager.
Like as a brand?
No, I think was it an LG Voyager or something like that?
I was
pretty
gonna
sure.
say like my phone is like light years ahead.
Oh, you can call your phone.
Horizon.
Byte Verizon.
Horizon on Verizon. The best phone on the best network. Get your Horizon by Verizon now.
Can you hear me now? No, I can't because he's on Sprint.
You mean T-Mobile?
He's on T-Mobile now?
Oh, you were talking about that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Biggest betrayal, like before we head out. Verizon guy going to Sprint was the biggest betrayal of all time. Top 10 anime betrayals was that.
Nah, fuck that.
Hey,
Companies will be paying them right.
Somebody offering you more money.
Jumping over.
No.
You don't even gotta believe in
We
it.
wouldn't know who he is if it wasn't for Verizon. I'm
Verizon
very
did
big
put him
on
on.
like sticking to your roots.
Verizon did put him on. They're like, you won't be nothing without us. The Sprint was like, nigga, we'll give you $20 and a sandwich. You want to just come through?
No.
He's like, yeah.
I wonder what his deal was to make him.
Get back at Verizon.
He's been just like,
I know he was like the
we'll
victim.
throw you a Horizon phone by Verizon.
I know he was the victim of like hate crimes.
Yeah, I know. I heard.
Why was he a victim of hate crimes?
Because people were bashing him like we are right now.
Because everybody kept saying, like,
No, he's gay.
he's gay?
Yeah, and like people were going to his house and like threatening him.
Can you hear me now?
Like literally like hate crimes.
Why?
It was a different time back in like
But
2003.
He's just trying to do Verizon commercials. Why does he have to get
And I
attacked?
think he might have got fired for being gay. I'm really pulling that out of my
Your
ass.
phone service made me gay. Fire that guy.
I'm pulling that out of my ass, and I feel like I should probably click.
See what you did there.
Well, I did the
Pulled it out of his ass.
I just want to make because it's such a. I don't want to end it on like Verizon fired someone for being gay, and then have a good episode, everyone.
I say we do it.
His contract, it looked like, just expired.
Because he was gay. Nice going, Verizon.
Ooh. He said he attended his grandmother's funeral, and as her body was being lowered into the ground, he heard someone, a voice of a family friend go, "Can you hear me now?"
Wow.
Damn.
So I think he quit.
He said, man, fuck that. People are taking this shit too far. Every time he's trying to talk, they're like, huh? Huh? He's like, can you fucking hear me now? Ah, there it is.
Sounds like they offered him more money. And he took
Well, I mean, it wasn't like he went straight from Verizon to Sprint. He had some time off.
yeah.
Because they usually put in like things in your contract that you can't work for a competitor for a couple of years. But I guess he did not get fired for being gay. I want to make that clear.
That's spreading some misinformation.
And that's not what we do here, because if you want good information and always fact checked, you can check out the Squad Goals podcast if you want to watch it. Go to Pornhub, YouTube, look up the Squad Goals podcast. If you want to listen, go to Google Play, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Last FM.
Wow.
That's
Maybe Pandora. I'm not sure. You got to come back to me on that.
Wherever
one.
you hear shit.
Hey,
Your neighbor? He's
should-
probably playing us.
Hey,
we should probably just start saying where podcasts are heard.
Yeah.
can you hear us now? Good.
Oh, I should have said, if you want to hear us now, you can go to.
Well, it's too late. Bye. Have a beautiful time.